Welcome to Story Time with Crash. Yes, today we're going to be talking about the first time I got isolation. Now, if you don't know what isolation is, it's basically when you've done something pretty bad in school and you get sent to a room and like you don't have to sit there and stuff like that. I've had it happen a couple times. This is the first time I kind of remember, and it's like the most entertaining one I'd say, as opposed to just talking in lesson. That's not really entertaining. That's kind of like that's a given, that's a given. But first time I went to isolation was, guess what it was? Drum roll, please. Breaking the ceiling. I don't want to incriminate myself too much because we don't know who's watching this video. We don't want no teachers to see this video, right? If you're a teacher now at my school, get out of the video. I don't want to see you here. I don't want to see you. You can't even watch this. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So get out. This is only for the real Crash subscribers. But the first time I got isolation that I really remember, and it was recently, was when I broke the ceiling in my school because I booted a ball at it. Yes, so I remember one morning I woke up, I got into school, everything's fine. And basically in my school we had something called tutor time, which most schools probably have. It's like it's the most pointless thing ever. You're just kind of in school and you don't really do anything. You just kind of sit there, get registered, half an hour waste of your life every single morning. Makes you wake up half an hour earlier. Most stupid thing ever. But we had form time and I was in early one day at school. I was in early as I was every day. I'm an early man. Early bird catches the worm, even though I hate worms. And I come into school and I see my friends. I'm like, yo, what's good? How you doing? The blah 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 blah. That's good. And all of a sudden, I don't know how this appears, but I'm in the corridor of my school. Not no football pitch, a rugby pitch, and a rugby ball appears. Now this is not a rugby ball, but picture this being a rugby ball. A rugby ball appears, and my friends are throwing about, kicking it, blah blah blah. Nothing's really happening, and my intuitive thoughts. Now I don't really know how these thoughts work. Sometimes my thoughts and thinking just detaches from each other. I don't really know. But my intuitive thoughts said, let me boot the ball. So what happens is I'm going to try to reenact it as close as possible without breaking anything. My friends are playing with a rugby ball. All good, they're passing it, blah, 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 blah. I get the ball. I'm like, yo, this is my ball. I walk over to the toilets. My school doesn't have doors on the toilets. What they do on the cubicles, but not the actual toilet building. So it's just, I don't know what. And I walk over there and I go like this with the ball. And bearing in mind, I think this is a good idea. I think it's a good idea for me to just beat the ball into the toilet. I don't know how I thought it was a good idea. I still do to this day think it was a good idea, but it clearly wasn't. And I go in there and I do this and I do something along those lines, alright? I boot the ball and I go straight up into the ceiling and it breaks the light. Now it would have been all good if you just hit the ceiling, but architecture nowadays is very weak. Very weak designs, and the school obviously they don't have a proper roof like my house. It's like one of those plaster chalkboard, one of those roofs that you can push up. So the rugby ball, out of all places, it could have hit the wall, the sink, the toilet cubicle. It hits the light on the wall. Now I'm going to try to get a video up, or it might be the thumbnail. It'll probably be the thumbnail, you've seen the thumbnail. What actually happens. And yeah, basically hit the light, light falls down, massive hole in the, and you know what else is, massive hole in the ceiling. And I'm just there, I did it and I'm just there, what? And my first instant reaction, this is some primitive nature reactions, is I just ran away. And I just ran away, and it was all good, I lived the rest of my life peacefully for the next 2 hours. And then I remember it's break, it's lunch, I'm sitting down on the Aura bench, there was a bench with a lot of Aura. I was just sitting down chilling, talking with some of my friends, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden I see a teacher approach me. And at that point I already know what's going to go down. So, I see the teacher approach me, I'm like, yo, what's good, sir? How you doing? How's your day? Very, very friendly. It's important. When you know you're about to get in trouble, it's important to be friendly. because that kind of like decreases the anger level of the teachers. So I'm like, yo, what's good, teacher? How you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm like, he comes up to me like this. He's like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, we have security camera footage of you breaking the ceiling. And I tell him like, what? Me? Breaking the ceiling? I think you got this wrong, sir. And he's like, nope. We've seen camera footage, and I have camera footage. I can show you of you breaking the ceiling. And now my initial reaction is like, I'm cooked. I'm done for. This is over. You know, they're gonna tell my parents. They're gonna get fined. They're gonna have to pay a lot of money, and I'm gonna be cooked. So I start thinking. Either I act denial about a thing I definitely did do at his on camera, or I own up. Now the reason I know it's on camera is because I saw the camera when it happened. There's a camera pointing at me, like paparazzi type camera. Like it was almost like the camera was following me. So I knew they had footage. So I think to myself, let me just incriminate myself. Now that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to try and lie off as much as possible. When there's camera footage, it's really hard. You know, it's really hard to like fight against it. So I go, I'm so sorry, sir. I did not know what I was thinking. You know, it was the voices, they took over. I was peer pressured, blah blah blah. I don't know, it was so stupid. I don't know why I booed it. It's such a. I played it off perfectly. They might as well give me the new role in the new Avengers movie. They might as well make me Chris Hemsworth. That's how good my acting was. And I go up to him like, you know, I don't know why I did it. It was such a stupid decision. I'm so sorry. Oh boy, it worked like a charm. The teacher's like, shout out to this teacher because this is one of my favorite teachers, and I know I was one of his favorite students, so I was kind of lucky. But he's one of my favorite teachers. Shout out to him. I'm not gonna say his name obviously, but he's one of my favorite teachers. And he's like, you know what? It's fine. I understand. I get it. You're a good kid. We all make mistakes. It happens. Blah blah blah. He's like, I'm gonna have to make you sit in isolation for a bit, and then you can sit, write a note. You know that you always have to write a report when you do something bad. And I was just sitting in isolation writing the note, and I just remembered the writing. My reason was I accidentally kicked a ball. Full stop. Shakespearean type writing. And yeah, that was pretty much what I did. And then obviously I handed in a note. Nothing really happened. Notes are the most pointless thing in school, really. It's like you might as well just talk to me. And you know why are you making me write it down? So yeah, that was pretty much it. I handed it in. They were like, some guy started laughing. He's like, behave, kid. He's like, kid, my bad. Sorry, sir. He's like, behave, sir. He's like, you accidentally kicked the ball. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, no? He's like, you accidentally kicked the. I'm like, yeah. Like what? And then he's like, okay, you just put the paper aside. I don't really care. And I kind of just sat the rest of the 3 hours of the day in isolation. I got a laptop. I was pretty much just watching football highlights. I was watching Messi. You know, pretty much having a pretty chill time. I'm pretty sure that day was a Wednesday, and I missed double maths. Yeah, I missed double maths. So no, double German. I despise German. I hated German so much. But yeah, I missed double German. So I was pretty happy, and I got to watch Messi highlights instead. I didn't even really get in trouble for it. So, you know, that was my first and after school detention, but after that I just got out of it because obviously I don't want to expose the methods too much, but you know your boy, you know, he has his methods to get out of stuff, you know, a little bit lying here and there, blah blah blah. But yeah, obviously that was the first time I remember I got in isolation. That was the first entertaining time I got into isolation, because I could have said something boring like, yeah, I was talking in a lesson and I didn't stop talking and the teacher said me that. But no one wants to hear that. Everyone wants to hear the exciting stories, the exciting, you know, just the exciting stories of how things happen. So, there we have it. The first time I got into isolation. And if you didn't enjoy that video, please like and subscribe. And comment the first time you got in trouble in school, like big trouble, or you got in isolation, because I want to read it, I want to hear it. But if you did enjoy that video, please like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe.